We came, we saw, we died.
Wow.
Unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed. Yeah. Unconfirmed. No. Unconfirmed reports about Gaddafi being captured.
Really?
Unconfirmed. Yeah. We've had too many. We've had a bunch of those before. We've had, have had him captured a couple of times.
Those were Hillary Clinton's words, laughing the moment she was told Muammar Gaddafi has been killed.
Later that year, Muammar Gaddafi was ousted from power and killed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died. Did it have anything to do with your visit? No. Oh, I'm sure it did.
But today, 14 years later, Libya is not free. Libya is not safe. Libya is not rebuilt. So the simple question remains,
Was Libya liberated or destroyed? And was Gaddafi killed or murdered?
this exclusive Inside Focus video is the story of how a stable African nation was dragged into chaos, how global powers played chess with Libyan lives, and why Gaddafi's death marked not the beginning of a new era for the people of Libya, but the beginning of its collapse. So hold on and please listen to this. This video is not with an intention to attack a personality or a group of people. It is for the purpose of education and criticizing an idea and an opinion. As this video is an analytical part of historical and geopolitical discussion, we seek to understand global power relations, not to create division. This is Inside Focus. And if this is the first time you're coming across my channel, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. Then like the video, share the video. Feel free to go to the comment section and let us know what you think about this very conversation. Also follow us on all other social media networks, all at Inside Studios Network. But this is Inside Focus. Before Gaddafi ever held power, Libya had suffered deeply under 4 different areas. First, Italian colonization from the year 1911 to 1943, which was marked by mass killings, forced labor, concentration camps, and cultural erasure. Number 3, a dependent monarchy under King Idris, 1951 to the year 1969. And then the last but the worst of them all, they had discovered oil at the time, but the oil they discovered was being controlled by Western companies. And it will be interesting to know that by the year 1969, Libya could only be described by these 4 characteristics. 1, illiterate. Over 75% of the people, the Libyans at the time, could not read. Secondly, they were extremely poor that they could not afford basic amenities. Thirdly, they were so tribal to the extent that there was so much unrest among the tribes in Libya. And the last one, they were economically controlled by foreign powers. And Libya at the time was technically independent, but not sovereign. This was the kind of world Gaddafi was born into. So in the same year, in 1969, then comes the rise of a 27-year-old army officer, Muammar Gaddafi, who led a bloodless coup against King Idris. He called himself a revolutionary, a nationalist, a Pan-Africanist, and an anti-imperialist. And then after a successful coup, where he was able to overthrow King Idris, he introduced the Green Book, which covers all his political philosophies. The Jamahiriya system, which simply means the state of the masses and the direct democracy. Also nationalization of the oil in the country of Libya, which led to the ending of the Western control over their oil. Free housing, free healthcare, free education, interest-free loans, subsidized electricity, and state-funded marriages, which simply means that new wedded couples were able to receive an amount up to $50,000 to start life and to begin a home. Therefore, through all these years and all these plans, by the 2000s, Libya had achieved a lot. Let's look at some of the achievements of the Libyans from the early 2000s and up. Number one, Libya had one of the highest human development index in Africa. Secondly, free medical treatment abroad. Thirdly, the highest GDP per capita in Africa. Fourth, 150 billion sovereign wealth fund. Fifth, zero external fund. Libya was Libya was the only African country that did not owe any external, any Western or Eastern country. Sixth, a stable currency. At the time, $1 was just equal to 1.3 Libyan dinar. And finally, Africa's most advanced welfare system. Libya had it. But see, this didn't mean Gaddafi was perfect. He had an authoritarian tendency and a complicated human rights record. But Libya was stable in his days. Libya was united in his days. Libya was functional in his days. Libya was safe in his days. And Africa respected him. So what then happened? Fast forward, Gaddafi became a global target. Gaddafi had committed a crime in the eyes of the West. What did he do? All because he wanted Africa to be independent. The dream Kwame Nkrumah had before he was taken. He wanted an independent Africa, so he pushed the African Union instead of the OAU. Number two, he pushed the African Central Bank. Number three, he pushed the African Monetary Fund, the AMF. Number four, he pushed the African gold-backed currency to replace the safer franc. Number five, he pushed the African satellite system to stop paying European operators. Number six, he pushed a united African military force. Now, all these things I've mentioned, a leaked Clinton email letter confirmed it. So what then happened was that France became afraid. France feared Gaddafi's gold-based African currency because it could destroy French control in the west of Africa. He wanted Africa free. Europe wanted Africa dependent. From that moment, Gaddafi was no longer a leader. He was a threat. So in 2011, during the Arab uprising, protests began in Libya. Instead of an internal mediation, NATO moved with an unusual speed. UN Revolution 1973, the place was declared a no-fly zone to protect the civilians. But in reality, it became airstrikes, regime change, special force on the ground, rebels supplied with weapons, coordinated drone strikes, and disinformed campaigns. The law said protect civilians. NATO interpreted it as remove Gaddafi. Because in their minds, Gaddafi was the problem of the people. And so if Gaddafi is taken out, the people would be protected and they would be safe. So after all these happenings, Russia and China later said they were deceived. Obama himself admitted in 2016, Libya was the worst mistake of my presidency, in his own words.
Asked on U.S. TV program Fox News Sunday what his biggest mistake in office has been, U.S. President Barack Obama said this.
Probably failing to plan for the day after what I think was the right thing to do in intervening in Libya.
In 2011, an international coalition that included the US, France, and Great Britain took military action in Libya. Later that year, Muammar Gaddafi was ousted from power and killed. But Libya soon descended into chaos. Rival governments formed and jockeyed for power as militias. The international community has struggled to bring order to the troubled country, even as Obama seems to admit the U.S. was at fault for poor planning in Libya. His administration seems more than willing to share the blame.
The rest of the international community did not have time and did not succeed in following through with a plan to compensate for the vacuum that was left behind.
So many people are asking, was he killed or was he murdered? Relax, let me take you there. In the same year 2011, in October, Gaddafi tried to flee Sirte. NATO drones hit his convoy. Oh my, he was captured alive by rebel groups, and what followed was an eyesore I cannot tell you. What followed was beatings, humiliations, stabbing, and finally execution.
Britain took military action in Libya. Later that year, Muammar Gaddafi was ousted from power and killed.
Now, after the man had been humiliated and executed, the UN then comes in with a clarification that it was a war crime, an extrajudiciary killing. But the world celebrated and Hillary laughed. We came, we saw, he died.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
But the simple question is, did Libya win? No, Libya died with Gaddafi.
Public security, total economic collapse, and a widespread lack of basic supplies. Prices of basic goods are 4 to 5 times higher than those of 5 years ago.
Things are expensive and people have no money in their pockets. Life is real tough, and that's that.
Many places in Tripoli have 5 to 6 hours of power outages every day.
Poor public security, frequent power failures, and cancellation of flights to other countries have strained people's lives. All countries have vacated their embassies in Libya, making it almost impossible for Libyans to apply for foreign visas. Whether there is genuine political change remains in dispute among Libyans. However, they easily agree on one thing: their lives have gotten messier after the revolution.
We had wished that things could get better, but so far there's no sign of that. We knew it would take time, but we didn't know that it would take so long.
Hospitals face severe shortages of medical supplies and equipment falls into disrepair. This is Abu Salim Hospital in the country's capital, Tripoli, the only emergency and trauma care hospital.
Right now, our capacity is only at 25%, and it's getting worse. It may be only 20% tomorrow, and 10 or even 5% the day after that. At any time, we could end up being closed due to our inability to accept patients.
There was a clash last night. Many shells hit our farmhouses. One old woman was killed, and one girl was hit in the legs. At the moment, we have no access to necessary treatment or medicine. It's really bad.
And that is how Libya was transformed from a nation to a battleground. After Gaddafi's fall, Libya broke into pieces. It became a failed state with no single government having a full control even until today.
Instead of one state leader, Libya now has 2 regimes and 3 armed forces. Many Libyans believe there might be one solution to all: consensus with no outside intervention. Because after all, it's their lives, and the future must be in the hands of the Libyans themselves.
Number 2, the rise of ISIS. Extremist groups form strongholds. Number Number 3, Libya has become the den of human trafficking and slave market. CNN's 2017 footage shocked the whole world as Africans are being sold like cattle.
A man addressing an unseen crowd. Big strong boys for farm work, he says. 400. 700. 700. 800. The numbers roll in. These men are sold for 1,200 Libyan pounds. $400 apiece. You are watching an auction of human beings. Another man, claiming to be a buyer. Off camera, someone asks, what happened to the ones from Niger? Sold off, he's told. CNN was sent this footage by a contact. After months of working, we were able to verify the authenticity of what you see here. We decided to travel to Libya to try and see for ourselves.
We're now in Tripoli and we're starting to get a little bit more of a sense of how this all works. Our contacts are telling us that there are 1 to 2 of these auctions every month and that there is one happening in the next few hours. So we're going to head out of town and see if we can get some sort of access to it.
For the safety of our contacts, we have agreed not to divulge the location of this auction, but the town we're driving to isn't the only one. Night falls. We travel through nondescript suburban neighborhoods, pretending to look for a missing person. Eventually, we stop outside a house like any other. Adjust our secret cameras and wait. Finally, it's time to move. We're ushered into one of 2 auctions happening on this same night. Crouched at the back of the yard, a floodlight obscuring much of the scene. One by one, men are brought out as the bidding begins. 400, 500, 550, 600, 650, 700. Very quickly, it's over. We ask if we can speak to the men. The auctioneer, seen here, refuses. We ask again if we can speak to them, if we can help them. No, he says. The auction's over, we're told. And we're asked to leave.
That was over very quickly. We walked in, and as soon as we walked in, the men started covering their faces, but they clearly wanted to finish what they were doing, and they kept bringing out what they kept referring to in Arabic as al-budaa, the merchandise. All in all, they admitted to us that there were 12 Nigerians that were sold in front of us. I honestly don't know what to say. That was probably one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
If they don't want to take us to Italy, let us take us to our various countries.
These men are migrants with dreams of being smuggled to Europe by sea.
Excuse me, can I speak?
We are going inside. Have a seat in your place. Have a seat in your place.
They come in their thousands from Niger, Mali, Nigeria, Ghana. It's hard to believe that these are the lucky ones, rescued from warehouses like the one in which we witnessed the auction. They're sold if those warehouses become overcrowded or if they run out of money to pay their smugglers. Of these rescued men, so many here say they were held against their will. It doesn't take us long to find victory.
Just take us home. No food, no drinking water. Just take us home. Want to go? No food, no water, nothing.
Victory was a slave.
We know that some people are being sold.
Yes.
Some people are being sold. Is this something you've heard about? Can you tell us about?
Sure.
Tell us.
I was sold.
What happened?
On my way coming, I was sold.
Number 4, economic collapse. The GDP of Libya has fallen by over 60%. Currency value crashed. Oil production dropped massively. Unemployment soared higher. Infrastructure destroyed. And at this point, it looks as if there is nothing good in Libya to write home about. Number 5, civil war. 2 governments, Tripoli, UN-backed, Tobruk, Haftar-backed, and each of them is being supported by a different foreign power. And as I talk to you now, Libya has gone down to the extent that it has become a playground for global rivals. And number 6, the painful part of them all. During the days of Gaddafi, there was 70% of house ownership. But as I talk to you now, millions have been displaced, families torn apart, cities destroyed, a country once called Africa's Switzerland, now a war zone. So interestingly, let me ask you, listening to me or watching this video, was this really the beginning of a new era? Hillary Clinton said Gaddafi's death marked the beginning of a new era for the country Libya. But the truth is brutal. During the days of Gaddafi, Libya was one united state, Africa's richest economy, free education and free healthcare, women's rights, no militias, no extremism. But after Gaddafi, 2 rival governments, 1,500 plus militias, ISIS stronghold, slave market, collapsed health system, foreign military interventions everywhere, tribal and regional divisions. Again, let me ask sadly,
is this a new era or a tragedy?
Now let me hit the nail straight at the head. There were 3 major reasons why the West wanted him gone. First, let's look at Gaddafi's gold-backed African currency. It threatened and shaped the safer franc system. Secondly, the Western monetary control. And thirdly, France's dominance in the west of Africa. Number 2, Libya's oil independence. Libya refused foreign military bases. 1. Secondly, Libya refused foreign oil dominance. And thirdly, Libya refused Western banks in the country of Libya. So everything that happened in Libya was by Libyans, for Libyans, and with Libyans, and they belong to Libyans. Number 3, Gaddafi's influence in Africa. He funded the AU operations. He funded the African satellites. He funded the infrastructure projects, and he funded the anti-colonial movements. In his days, he empowered Africa, and that made him dangerous and a threat in the eyes of the West. So everything that happened to Gaddafi and Libya, was it freedom for Libya or a lesson to Africa? Gaddafi's death sent a strong message. If African leaders challenge global powers, this will be their fate. It is very important to note this. After Libya, Mali destabilized, Sahel region collapsed, Boko Haram expanded, extremist group grew stronger, Niger, Burkina Faso, and the Central African Republic suffered. The AU weakened. See, let truth be told, Libya was the shield that protected Africans north. And once removed, the continent felt the shockwave. And now, what was the game? Who benefited? The winners. The Western oil companies won, arms suppliers won, external governments seeking influence won, human trafficking syndicates won, extremist groups won, foreign militaries who gained footholds in Africa won. And who then are the losers? Libya became a loser, Africa became a loser, civilians became losers, migrants became losers, Pan-African unity lost control, regional stability lost control, and the Mediterranean lost control and foothold. And then to everyone who witnessed Gaddafi's humiliation and death would agree with me that his death did not create democracy, it created a vacuum. And I know you would agree with me that sovereignty is fragile. In this instance, Libya teaches us a lot of lessons as Africans. Number 1, a strong economy isn't enough. Secondly, oil is both a blessing and a target. Number 3, foreign interventions never bring peace. Number 4, Africa must build its own defense. 5, leaders who push for independence will face external pressure. Number 6, a divided Africa is a vulnerable Africa. And number 7, Pan-African unity is not an idea, it is a survival. As Gaddafi once said, if Africa does not unite, we will be colonized again, not by flags, but by interest. So to end, let me say this. Gaddafi was not perfect. No leader in the world is. But truth be told, Libya under Gaddafi was stable, wealthy, and African. But now, Libya after Gaddafi is bleeding, fragmented, and controlled. So today, let us ask ourselves, Did Libya fall because Gaddafi failed his people, or because he dared to dream of an independent Africa? Secondly, was he killed for justice or murdered for geopolitics? And the final and mind-boggling question is this: if a country as rich as Libya could be destroyed in months, what does it mean to the rest of Africa? This video is not meant to praise Gaddafi, but a wake-up call for Africa. This is simply because the next Libya might not be Libya. It might be any African country that forgets that sovereignty is not given, it is defended. This is Inside Focus. See you in the next update. Remember to subscribe, share, like, and join the community.